Muhammad, before he claimed, fitted this description perfectly. He was a man in his childhood who was withdrawn to himself and his recluse. He was not a man to display himself to the people. He was a God-fearing person, young boy who would go out and serve the cause of the poor, and nothing else was heard about him except that he would feed the poor from his own share of food which he received from his family, and go to the mosque and spend most of the time in the mosque, or study religion and Islam and also other religions to compare. That was his life. Nobody knew him, even much in Qadian. So much so that once a Sikh leader from around the whole of the area around Qadian was mostly Sikh population, predominantly Sikh. And they were big, powerful people who were very martial in their character and still are, in fact. So one of those, because Hazrat Mirza's father had a family estate and he was a very respectable figure in the area, the big people from around used to come. And once a Sardar, he inquired from his father, "I have heard, I am surprised that you have also another son by the name of Ghulam Ahmad, but he is never seen. Where does he live?" He said, "Go to the mosque, he may be wrapped in the matting of the mosque, because this is where he lives, this is where he sleeps." I don't know what he does. This was his early childhood. Then when he started pursuit of knowledge of Islam as well as other religions, then he came out with his debates with Christians, with Aryas, with other Hindus, with Sikhs. Right and left he started pleading the cause of Islam's truth. And then he began to rise to fame. Then he wrote a great book by the name of Ahmadiyya, which he promised would be published in 50 volumes. But only 5 were published, and the remaining could not, because then he got engaged, what happened later on, so heavily in the task of involvement from every side. So people think that he did not fulfill his promise, and this is one of the allegations against him. Very small, minor thing, because he is the author of more than 100 books. So the title may not be Ahmadiyya, but they are all Ahmadiyya. See? About Christians, about Hindus, about this, about that, and all sorts of challenges were taken up by him. So I always look at this small allegation, they mean small thing. They know that he fulfilled more than the promise, although not under the same title, in the same style. But arguments after arguments, he sort of, as if he was granted a limitless fountain of arguments which kept on flowing forever. But we'll come to that later. The first book, Ahmadiyya, made such a great, let's say, not uproar, but it was something which shattered the peace of the time. Something had happened, like a volcano it erupted. And it had 2 astounding effects. One, the Muslims suddenly realized that here we have the champion for the cause of Islam, which we had been missing for so long. Now comes the man. Now we'll see how Christians and Hindus and other people of other faiths will go on blemishing Islam with their allegations, etc., without any real genuine defense. Now we have got a champion, a hero, who is going to counter-attack with such force that nobody can defend him, defend his own faith against Islam, as presented by Hazrat Mirza Ghulam Ahmad. This was the general consensus. He started receiving letters of appreciation and love from all over India, from north to south, east to west. people, even great scholars, submitted to his superiority in Islamic knowledge and his art of defense. And people paid him such glowing tributes, not ordinary people, the leaders among the Muslims, like Muhammad Hussain Batalvi, and there's so many others, who published resounding praises, which were absolutely scintillating praises in support of what he did for Islam. Muhammad Hussain Batalvi, for instance, in his review, Ishad Sunnah, Ishad Sunnah, I have mentioned it before, but I'll briefly refer to it now again. He wrote a long article which, in short, claimed and made a repeated claim that since the demise of Hazrat Muhammad Rasulullah, including the whole history of Islam, imagine, including the Sahaba who followed him, till this day, none has defended Islam like he has done. And he said, lest you should think that it is an oriental hyperbole, mubalgha. I'm saying things, lifting them beyond their real status. I'm adding praises which are not genuine and due. I'm only exaggerating. He says, lest somebody should think that I'm indulging in hyperboles. Hyperbole is a praise which is extremely exaggerated.